breaking news, the Biden administration announcing student loan relief.
Big changes are coming for millions of Americans with student loans.
Borrowers will be getting some relief, $10,000 in loan forgiveness. After 3 years of a freeze on payments, it is time to start paying back.
Borrowers must resume paying off their entire student loans.
Prepare your bank accounts to take a hit.
Payments are scheduled to begin with no money forgiven at all.
So let's talk about student loan debt in the US. There's a total debt of $1.7 trillion. It's almost 40 grand a person. These facts are just insane. 44 million of you guys have student loan debt, and it's coming back at you with no literacy on October 1st. Over the last 2 years, a couple of administrations have given you the ability to kick the can down the road, and then they made you false promises about student loan forgiveness. And guess what? It's not gonna happen, okay? You have to pay them back. And now, I know you guys are confused, scared, and how the hell you were gonna pay this back because it's a lot of money. And heck, it may even seem impossible for you to pay it in a lifetime. But trust me, I've immersed myself into this money world for quite some years now. And I have met a lot of people that have been able to pay thousands of dollars in debt. And in this video, I'm gonna show you a step-by-step on how to do it, how you can do it yourself too. Now, there's going to be people that are going to tell you things like, you're going to die with this debt. There's no point of even trying to pay it off. And you can't do it. It's a lot of money and other bullshit like that. Well, I'm here to tell you that rules are meant to be broken. And if everyone's singing, you want to zag. Although I know Spanish is my first language, this channel is about money, okay? And I even know personally some of you guys. So I felt the need of sharing my knowledge with you all, and that's why I've decided to make this video. So before we start, you need to understand that no one accidentally wins. Winning is an intentional act that causes someone to be what we call successful. So if you want to get out of debt, get rich, become a millionaire, whatever, you need to live like no one else now, so later in life you can live like no one else. Now I'm going to show you step by step how you can do this, but I want you to know that I didn't just come up with this, okay? It's not like I woke up one day and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and all of a sudden it worked. No, I have learned this from mentors from the US and Latin America. For example, one of them is Dave Ramsey, the America's trusted voice on money. You guys may know him, right? And other entrepreneurs and financial experts like Gary Vee, Graham Stephan, Robert Kiyosaki, and many, many more. And these mentors have taught me one or two things about money that I think it would be cool to share with you guys. So for all of you folks that have no clue what's going on, basically what happened is that a lot of people were hoping the president button was actually going to pull up a forgiveness rule so you didn't have to pay your student loan debt. But the Supreme Court said, no, we want our money back. This is the reality, okay? And the government created this mess and they're not going to clean it up for you. The very first thing you need to do to clear your debt is to open the student loan statement. Find out who your servicer is. About a fourth of you guys have a new servicer out there. That means around 16 to 20 million people have a new servicer, and you must find out what that is. Otherwise, you're gonna be lost. Your service loan provider used to be Navient, now it's Morella, but for some weird reason they changed it back. It's confusing. And you're like, where the heck are your loans? Are they in different places? That's okay. Cool out, chill, take a deep breath. Call your 1-800-PAY-ME number and find out who your servicer is and how much you owe. So first, find out who's got it and then where your money is going to. And what most people think is the right thing to do is that they're like, oh, I'm just gonna lower my payments so I have more money to spend. No, okay? When it comes to payments, whenever you lower a payment, that equals a longer period of time of having that debt. So remember, lower equals longer. So if you pay the minimum each month, the minimum each month, the minimum each month, you're gonna have that debt forever. So these are the money moves we're gonna go through in this video. The first one is get on a budget. The second one, cut your expenses. The third one is increase your income. The fourth one is low, lift, big gains. And the fifth one is car payments. I'm gonna explain step by step, but I'm also gonna share my screen to teach you guys how to do it step by step. So the first one, get on a budget. You can't improve what you don't measure. A budget is when people tell their money where to go instead of wondering where it went. A lot of people think that if they're on a budget, that means they cannot have any fun. And it can be like that, but it doesn't have to be. You have to understand that a budget is what's going to give you control of your time and of your money. Your time and money are not two different things. They are 100% related because you at work, you trade your time or money for a paycheck. And when you are playing this game of paying debt off, you need to understand that you're playing a short-term game to be able to play around, party, travel, be with your family in the long term. So basically, sometimes in this short-term game, you just gotta suck it up and do it. And in this video, I'm gonna be using the Every Dollar app. It's 100% free and it's a great budgeting app. I'm gonna be as realistic as I can, run the numbers, and go into the nitty-gritty details. I'm going to use a couple as an example with a toddler. So if you're single, it's gonna be way easier. And then we'll make the average household income, which is $71,000, and after tax is $57,800 divided by 12. That's $2,400 per paycheck.
So guys, this is the application Every Dollar. As you can see, I have the free version which works perfectly fine. I can upgrade it to premium, but I'm not gonna do it. So this is your budget. You need to know that your income, including giving and saving versus your expenses, should equal 0. And if you scroll down, you're gonna see all your bills and subscriptions. So you're gonna have to fill this out with whatever you spend your money on throughout the month. And then we have the debt section. So here is where we're going to include our credit card debt, student loan debt, card payments, every single debt that we have, it's gonna go here. So as you can see, we have a problem here. We're over budget.
And this could be you, okay? That's why it's so important to have a budget, track everything down, and face it head on. Now, the second one will be cut your expenses. I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but this is a temporary short-term sacrifice, okay? You need to understand that. I want you to keep that in mind.
So we're gonna start with our spending. The first thing we're gonna touch base on is gonna be the restaurant section, okay? So this is something completely I want, it's not I need. So we're gonna take this bad boy to 0. And now, to be fair, we're gonna put $500 on groceries because it makes sense, right? You're gonna need more money to go grocery shopping because you're gonna have to make better meals. But you need to know this is just for a short period of time, okay? Then when we get better, then we can just put this back on $400 and then put $100 here. But for now, we're just gonna keep this as $0 and we're just gonna put $500 here.
Even buying store brand stuff versus branded. Can I tell you,
Amazing.
Jade?
Yes.
Okay, in my house for my show, I did this experiment just this last week, you guys. 4 different items. I mean, this is like raisins, animal crackers. I mean, nothing like big. I did store brands versus name brands. My kids didn't know the difference except for the Honey Nut Cheerios. They did know that. They were like, this tastes different. Besides that, those 4 items. And then I did the math to say, okay, if we bought these twice a week over time, it was $360 per year.
Look.
And that's just on those 4 items, you guys. So think about that. I mean, these little switches, I know it seems like we're nickel and diming, but wherever you can find, that margin is big. And Jade, I want you to share, if you will, real quick. I'm spontaneously.
No, let's go.
But the story of you and Sam when you were in the grocery store, you guys were on this journey.
Yes.
But y'all were so hardcore, like we're not going over budget. We set this amount of money.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
right.
oatmeal came in.
Oh gosh, I knew this is where you were going. So let me really quick. So we were probably year 6.5 into our journey, had a little bit left to go, and I mean, it's down to the wire. Every cent, every dollar counts. And I had a grocery list. I would not enter the store without a grocery list. We're going through the aisles. I look and I notice there's a box of oatmeal in the cart. And I'm like, looking at my list, like, that's not supposed to be in the cart. And so I see my husband, Sam, and I say, hey, did you put that oatmeal in the cart? He says, yeah, it was me, but it's just one box. It's just a couple of dollars. I look at the list, I'm like, is it on the list though? He's like, Jade, it's not on the list, but I feel like we can't. And I'm like, Sam, it was like one of those moments where you're just eye to eye and you're like,
Totally. It's
like,
a moment.
help me understand. And so we're facing each other face off, and I start to see his eyes like glistening. He's like, Jade, it's just oatmeal. And I'm like, it's not just oatmeal, because if we start sacrificing in this area, we'll pull back in other areas, and that's how it goes. It's like a domino effect. You pull back here, you pull back there, and before you know it, you're not intense anymore. And before you know it, that road that you were walking on to get debt free, it gets slower and slower and slower. And so it was one of those moments where it's like, no, let's put it back. And he wasn't getting teary and misty because of oatmeal.
No,
he's getting teary and misty because
it matters.
It matters. This is emotional for us, right? Being able to go out and spend, that's an emotional feeling. And when you tell somebody, hey, take that restaurant category to 0, we're not going to sit around and act like that doesn't hurt. We're not going to, look, Twist and Shout does not taste the same as Oreos, okay? Nobody's going to act like they do. But is it worth it? Absolutely. So that's where we landed on that.
For that season.
Now we're going to talk about these subscriptions, okay? Now here's a fun fact that blows my mind. Millennials on average have 17 subscriptions. That's crazy. That's a lot. So we're going to start with Netflix. We're just going to put 0 here. We really don't need that. We're going to leave Disney Plus because remember on this example, there's a kid. We're going to get rid of HBO Max. We really don't need that. It's just like Netflix. I also got rid of Apple Music. You can just use the free version of Spotify or YouTube all day for free. I know this won't hurt, but we're gonna get rid of Amazon, okay? And I know a lot of people spend a lot of money here because this is one of my businesses. I sell on Amazon in the US marketplace. So there's a lot of people that overspend on Amazon. So even though it's one of my businesses, we're gonna take care of you and cancel Amazon Prime for now. And then we have $75 a month for the lawn service. You can just put $0 here and cut your own grass. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's a $466 on our budget. This is way better. It's going down, so that means it's working. Whatever we're doing here, it's working.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. The third one will be increase your income. The formula of wealth is pretty simple. It's the money coming in versus the money coming out. The bigger your margins, the better. Your main tool to get out of debt and eventually create wealth, start a business or whatever, is your job income. But there's also something called side hustles, which are ways you can figure out to make more money every month and free up your margins. Now, you may be wondering what are the best side hustles out there? And what I always say is that just do more of what you are already good at. Are you a teacher? Tutor on the side. I am bilingual. I speak Spanish and English, so I work as a freelance translator. That's one of my side hustles. Now, I know I'm not going to become rich with that, but it gives me extra cash flow every single month. And if you can or just don't want to figure out side hustles, you can just overtime at your own job if you can. But if you don't want to do more of the same things all over again, you can cook for other people, pet sitting through apps like Rover, babysitting, but the goal will be to make an extra $20 an hour.
So this is going to be the side hustle part. If we say that they're capable of bringing $500 each a month, that will be $1,000 after tax, which equals $12,000 a year after tax that they are bringing in. Which is pretty fair, I would say. They could be bringing an extra $1,000 each after tax. But for now, we're gonna leave it like this and see. We are $533 left to budget. We are out of the red section, so this is working.
Now, the fourth one is low lift big gains. And I know this is gonna hurt, okay? And I hate to break it to you, but you need to pause retirement, at least for now. Pause your 401k, and I know you're gonna be like, dude, but it's free money. I'm not gonna lose it. No, okay, just pause your 401k at every investment you have. The reality is that we have such an amount of debt. You shouldn't be traveling. You shouldn't be partying. You shouldn't be caring about anything else. What I have found is that people set aside 4% of their paycheck for their 401k. Let's say you pause this. That will be $818 per paycheck going back to your paycheck every month.
So if we pause our investments or savings for retirement and include those $118 here, we're going to have a paycheck of $2,518 every month instead of $2,400. So we're going to put this in every paycheck. And of course, our budget is going to look better and better as we work on it.
Which leads me to this next thing. Use your withholding. A lot of people have money just sitting there when they could be using that money to pay off the debt. So get your tax refund, which is on average $3,000 per person divided by 12 months of the year. That is $250 that could be back in.
So that's $250 combined, okay? So we're just gonna put this in one paycheck and we're gonna have a paycheck of $2,768. Now we have over $1,000 left to budget.
Now last but not least, the fifth one, car payments. Most people are paying somewhere from $500 to $700 for one car a month. That's a lot of money, and some people even have 2 cars. In our budget, on every dollar, we put $615 for a RAV4. That's honestly a lot of money that you could be using right now to pay off debt. So consider selling your car and get yourself a cheap one for now. It's not gonna kill you, okay? And then later in life, you're gonna be able to drive whatever you want.
We have a total debt for the car of $32,000, which is what we took out. So let's say you get rid of this debt, which you really should at this point. So we're just gonna put here $0 because we're not gonna have that payment anymore, and get yourself a bidder, okay? And get yourself something that's not gonna cost you $600 a month. And I know some of you guys be like, I'm upside down with my car payments, but you can just take a $3, $4, maybe a $5,000 hit. Buy that cheap car that you're gonna drive for now, cash. So now we are in the debt section. As we can see, we have a total debt for the Amex car of $890. The minimum payment is $75, but since we have a balance of $890, but we have freed up all this money, we can just pay this off right now. So we can just delete this, and then you can just play around with these numbers, and now you have so much money left to spend, but you're not gonna spend it, okay? You're just gonna pay off debt by debt, from smallest to largest.
Now, you can see that the sacrifices you're making are working. You're not doing them just because. Once you start freeing up money here and there, now you can use that money to pay off your student loan or credit card debt. And once you have paid every debt off, now you have a positive remaining balance every month that you can just use. It's yours, okay? Just go spend it or whatever. You deserve it. I want you to know that if you're watching this and if you have debt, you can get out of it and stay out of it. I have met a lot of people just like me and you that have been able to get out of debt, stay out of debt, and live debt free. And if you do just what I'm telling you, it's gonna work just like it has worked with millions of people all around the US. But you need to do it yourself, okay? Don't wait on the government. Don't rely on the government. The government really doesn't care about you. They're not gonna save you. They're not gonna give you any money. It just won't happen, okay? So guys, if you have liked this video, smash that like button, share this video with friends, family, and don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment down below. That means the world to me. Let me know if you want more content like this. This is my first video ever in English, so I hope it went well. Thank you guys, and pura vida.